Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Stacy. This is what month? Where are we? May? Are we in May? This is May's reading wrap up, and I'm doing this a week early because I'm actually getting ready to go to Alaska for 2 weeks. I'm going the last week of May and the first week of June, and I thought I would do a separate reading thing for that trip, like the books that I'm reading then. I want to read a bunch of books that are set in Alaska, so that's my plan. So I want to close out May early. It was a kind of strange reading month. I feel like I hardly read anything, and it just wasn't great. So anyway, let's get into my month. The first book that I read was The Unexpected Guest by Agatha Christie, and I didn't know this going into it, but I believe this is a play that she wrote, and then someone else turned it into a book, and it's a novella. So, and I can't remember the name of the person who turned it into a book, but anyway, it was short, and I actually really did like this one. This one is about a man who is driving along a English highway, and his car gets stuck in a ditch, and he finds an old English manor house, and he sneaks into the house. He climbs into the window, and when he goes into the house, he discovers a woman standing with a gun over her dead husband, who is in a wheelchair. And so got to figure out what is happening with that. I really like the plot of this. I like the pacing. I did not guess who done it and the situation. I thought it was really good, really interesting. I hadn't heard of this one, but it was on my Scribd app. I listened to this, and like I said, it was a novella, so it was a pretty quick read, and yeah, I liked it. I did not write down how many stars I gave it, but I'm guessing about 4. This is terrible. I'm doing a terrible job with this. The next one I read was A Dangerous Legacy by Elizabeth Camden. I always like her books. I love the way that she writes historical fiction because she packs her books so full of interesting facts, things that I didn't know, and I learned so much from reading her books. This book was set, I want to say in 1901 in New York City. And it's about a woman who interprets Morse code and translates Morse code for the news. She works for the Associated Press, and at the time there were 2 major newspapers or news outlets, and it was the Associated Press and Reuters. And Reuters was British, the Associated Press was American, and there was kind of a rivalry between the two, but they would help each other out in selling news stories and how they would receive news by the transatlantic cable. All of this was fascinating to me. You might find this boring, but I was like, wow, this is the coolest stuff ever. So she works for the Associated Press, and she lives with her brother, and she comes from a family of plumbers who invented some sort of valve that makes it so high-rise buildings can get water up to the higher floors. So back in the day, if you lived in a high-rise building, the people on the bottom would have water, but a few floors up, you wouldn't have water. So this valve would make it so water could go and travel through the building. So that was a really big deal. And the family made a lot of money because of this. And then the family had a fight, got divided. There's all kinds of drama within the family, and there is a relationship between the main character and the man who runs Reuters news. I loved this book. There was so much going on. Even though I was getting all these facts and stuff, I just found the whole thing to be so interesting. There was homing pigeons in this book. Like, what? I loved it. It was fantastic. I think there's 2 more books after this, and I'm definitely going to give book 2 a go. The next one I read was Slings and Sparrows by Patricia Meredith. And I love her, guys. I've read multiple of her books and I always love her mysteries. She is very unique in the way that she writes her stories. Her plots for her mysteries are very unique. This one surrounded a group of women who all love birds, and they all have a different type of bird. And in the very beginning, you find out that a cockatiel was murdered, and that is the mystery that these ladies try to solve. And I thought it was really cute, really clever. I loved the setting, the community where the ladies lived, because it was set in Pennsylvania but right on the line of Maryland, and I'm from Maryland and I lived kind of close to the line of Pennsylvania, so it just felt like home the way things were described. So I really liked that. I think this is going to be part of a series, so I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the books. The characters were really cute, and I, of course, love birds, some more than others. Not a big fan of my rooster, but I have chickens and ducks, and I've had cockatiels. I actually have a story of a cockatiel that was very much like the story in the book. It was wild. I had to stop reading and send Patricia a note explaining the situation that happened with my cockatiel and be like, what is going on? Because this is crazy. She's fantastic. She is just the nicest person. So if you are not following her, she also is on YouTube. She makes videos. She's on Instagram. I will leave her link down below. Give her a follow. Check her out. If you like mysteries, definitely read her books. Next one I read was Bound by Disaster by Patricia Meredith. This is book 2 in a series. I can't remember the name of the series, but it has to do with the beach, books, and coffee. And it's about a woman who, after her husband dies, she buys a bookshop in North Carolina on the beach, and she wants to turn it into like a coffee shop / bookshop. And a woman who is new to town is murdered, washes up on the beach, and they have to solve the mystery. The man who is the mayor of the town used to be like the chief of the police, and so the woman who owns the bookshop is friends with the mayor, and so they're just trying to figure out what's going on. I liked it. This is a novella. The whole series, all the books are novellas, so if you're looking for like a quick, cozy Christian mystery read, check this out. And the next book I read was Falling for Alaska by Catherine Brown. Like I said, I want to try to read books that are set in Alaska. This was a contemporary romance, which is not normally my thing, but I read one recently that I really liked, so I'd like to try more. This was a Christian book. There wasn't a whole lot of faith in it, but the characters were Christian, and there was talk of like going to church and stuff like that. And it was a clean read. This is about a woman who inherits a house in Alaska, and she moves there with the purpose of trying to become a furniture flipper. She gets really cheap furniture and does all kinds of stuff to it to make it beautiful, and then she resells it. And I thought all of that was very interesting because I like DIY type of stuff. And I have attempted to flip a piece of furniture. So yeah, I'm interested in that sort of thing. So she moves into this house, and her next door neighbor is a very, very grumpy person. And I almost DNF'd this book in the beginning because the neighbor was so mean. I thought he was unnecessarily mean to her. So I almost DNF'd it because I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I can read about this dude. But quickly he started to come around, started to lighten up. He got a dog, and the dog changed things. So I did like that. I liked their banter, their relationship, and all of the bits with Alaska. I thought it was a nice, cute, clean read. But at the end, things happened very quickly. Things happened way too fast for me. I thought it was really weird how quickly things all came together at the end, and I don't want to give any spoilers. So yeah, I didn't love that. So I ended up rating it 3.5 stars because it was just kind of okay. Yeah, that's what I thought about it. Then I have 3 books that I started that I did not finish, and I thought I would just mention them quickly. The first one is Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham. This one I started on audio, and I realized that I cannot listen to this book because it is all letters and text messages, and there's like four or five people talking, and the back and forth was messing me up. I was getting confused and I wasn't able to concentrate on it. I think it's a book that I have to read physically. I just can't listen to that sort of format. So then the next one was Crocodile on the Sandbank by Elizabeth Peters. This is book one of a mystery series. It is like Victorian time frame, and I was enjoying it, but I wasn't listening to it fast enough, and the library took it back, and there's several holds on it. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to get it again, and by the time I can get it again, I've kind of lost interest. There was nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't like that exciting. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to finish it. The next one is Come Back to Me by Jody Headland. I have a lot of thoughts on this one. And I don't know if I really want to get into all the thoughts in this video, but I'm like 60-70% into this book, and I'm going to finish it because I want to be able to fully form my thoughts and talk about this when I'm done. But I would be really interested to know what other people thought about this book if you've read it. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So yeah, I guess that's all I've got to talk about for May. I hope you guys had a great month, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.